think we are good to start. First of all, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's panel From Games to Ecosystem Unlocking Growth and Opportunities. I am Daksha Sharma, Platform and Publishing Partnership Manager at Krafton India, and I will be your moderator for this exciting conversation. First of all, I want to say a warm thank you to our partners, SocialPeta, Trophée, and MindYourLogic for making this event happen. Today's session brings together some of the brightest mind in the mobile gaming space to explore how mobile games are evolving into broader ecosystem, integrating content, community, and commerce. Over the next hour, we will dive into key shifts in the Indian and Southeast Asian market, strategies for long-term growth, and predictions for what's next. Without further ado, I would like to ask our panelists to briefly introduce themselves, your role, your name, company you represent, and anything you would like to share. Vijay, would you like to go first?
Yes, yeah, sure. Dakshat, first of all, pleasure meeting you as well, and pleasure meeting Anshul, Pankaj, and the SocialPeta team. And I'm excited to be here, and excited. Today's topic is very interesting. So let's explore together the what and I we hope that we can add a value to our listeners as well. I'm Vijay Singh, founder and CEO at Trophée, and we are a game commerce company. I'm having a total 15 years of experience, mix of media, gaming, and the advertising space. Myself into the startup journey for last 8 years, and our last startup native is being acquired by an Australian advertising company over a few $1 million. Uh, we over this journey, we into the gaming space mixed with an advertising, we realized that there is an opportunity as well as there is certain gaps, and that's how we started the journey of Trophy. We have introduced a new advertising channel called Game Commerce, where we seamlessly, the merge the thrill of gameplay and the real world shopping by embedding the shoppable moments directly into the gaming experience. So this is not just transforming the genuine player attention into the high impact brand engagement, but also significantly boost monetization for our game developers and the publishers. Our idea is to redefine how the digital savvy consumers discover and interact with the global brands, and all without disrupting their gameplay. So this is what we trying to create is a true win-win model for the brands, the game developers, and the gamers alike. At present, we are the world's first game commerce company, and we are presently live in India, and very soon we are expanding to the other new markets. One of them is the Southeast Asia for sure, and the GCC market very soon. We are working with some of the biggest brand as at present. Some of them are ITC, Mondelez, the Perfetti, and we are also working with the biggest gaming developers in India and outside. We have seen like very exciting results so far on the game commerce propositions, and with these partners we are excited to lead the proposition to the global market. So we are very excited about this space, and what you yep, that's me.
That's all sounds very exciting, and I'm super happy to have you as one of our panelists. So,
Thank you.
Pankaj, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure. Thank you, Daksha, and thank you everyone for your time who have taken for this webinar, and also the viewers who are connecting with us live. So my name is Pankaj. I've been associated with Social Peta for almost last 3 years. Social Peta, I can say we are proudly number one ad intelligence company. We provide you insights about the competition analysis, the creative analysis across the world, not just limited to gaming space, but non-gaming and the non-app space as well. Excited to be a part of this panel and would like to learn more from fellow speakers. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, for introduction and also, making this event happen as well. I would like to ask Anshul now, please, to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Amazing to hear from Pankaj and Vijay. You guys are doing are amazing and helping us to develop our games better and monetize those better. So I'm Anshul from MindYourLogic Studios. We create mobile games related to puzzles and logic. Two of our titles, Detective IQ 1 and Detective IQ 2, have crossed 15 million downloads combined. We are among the top puzzle games in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Turkey. We are trying to build an ecosystem of entertainment from games to videos through logic. So our users will be connected to us all the time. So we have close to 15 million followers on YouTube and Instagram as well, where we create content related to riddles and puzzles and which is connected to our games. So in short, we are trying to create an ecosystem of entertainment for our audience.
That's amazing. Also, there's so much cool stuff happening in the UGC section. So I'm really glad that, you guys are kind of looking into what's kind of really happening right now and providing developer like the solution that they kind of can need. Cool. So let's start with like some of the main questions that we have today. So my first question is to Vijay. So from my understanding, Trophy blends gaming with commerce to build brand-driven communities. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, how do you see user-generated content and social features driving ecosystem level growth? Like, what strategies has helped you turn casual players into, let's say, like loyal participants?
Daksha, just give me a second. Just give me a second. My internet is a little patchy today. Just give me a second. I'm just connecting it.
It's not really a fun session until we have like some tech issues.
That's true.
It's like mandatory.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I'm back.
So
So,
worry.
Daksha, can you just please repeat? I lost you in a minute.
No worries. So I was saying that as the founder of Trophy, a platform like that blends gaming with
Mm-hmm.
commerce to
Mm-hmm.
build interactive, brand-driven communities, how do you see your role of user-generated content and
Mm-hmm.
social features in driving ecosystem level growth? Like, what strategies have proven effective in turning casual players into
Mm-hmm.
loyal participants within a broader gaming ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So, it's really an interesting question, and how I see it that, and in today's landscape, the content isn't a king. The community is, and the UGC turns players into the contributors, the social features, turns the moments into the movement. This is what we believe. And when the players get into the tools of personalize, co-create, and even monetize their in-game experience, they become emotionally and socially invested. This is what transforms social and the casual session into the ongoing participation. So our core strategy has been to embed the commerce in our moments of expressions within the game and the achievement. From the consent-based interaction that what we have introduced to an embedded brand placement to the interactive challenges where the players can earn the real world rewards and not just limited to this, but they can share it by their buddies, with their families, and they can, the copy the coupon, they can redeem, and this is just, the start of the game commerce in that space. So for us, we don't want to create an interruption and the disruption within the gaming experience. And with a UGC and how the game commerce is being evolving, these are not the interruption. We are giving them a reason to return to the games, right? And a trophy, we view the UGC and the social layers not just an add-on, but as a foundation to build the interactive game commerce ecosystem where the players don't just play, they create, they go on, and they participate in the shaping value. In India and especially the Southeast Asian market, where the gaming is deeply social and the community driven, the future lies, and this is what we believe, that the future lies in blending entertainment, identity, and the ownership. At Trophy, we are very happy that we are building for that future where every tap, share, and the creation not only fuels the player's joy, but also powers the broader economic engine of the gaming world. So I think this is what we are creating for the future, and bringing all the trying to connect all the key points for the brands, for the game developers, and for the gamer itself. So this is my take on this.
Amazing. Honestly, I do agree. Like, content is the king, and the way users are kind of engaging with the content is kind of more immersive and a bit different than how it used to be. So it's really good to see like Trophy is taking initiative in that direction. Um, that's really amazing to hear. The next question I have is for Anshul. Anshul, in your understanding, like Mind Your Logic has cultivated like a dedicated audience through puzzle-based content. How can intellectually engaging games expand into larger ecosystem or learning communities? And what future trends you are watching closely?
Um, so if you see the puzzle gaming ecosystem, there are different challenges when you see a tier one market and the tier three market. In the tier three markets, the CPIs are low, but when you add the other costs like MMP and other costs, so the overall CPI, the CAC increases. Okay, so it's very difficult to get the ROAS and the strong LTV, especially in the tier three markets. If you follow the top 20 puzzle ranking in tier one market and the tier three and tier four market, you will see some difference. You will see that more IAP based games in the tier one market in the top 20, top 50 games. And when you come to tier T and three or four, you will see more IA based games. But recently, there is a shift. You will now see more IA plus IAP games in the top categories. That means there's now a shift from the IA to the IAP based games in these tier 3 and tier 4 markets. So what I have personally observed, because we have been now in this industry from 4 to 5 years, is the number of people who are doing the digital transactions has increased a lot. India as a country have seen a digital wave in the last 5 years. So people are now more confident in doing the online transaction. Earlier, the debit card and the credit card transactions in India were not easily accessible to all the people, and the trust issues were there. But with UPI, the trust has increased a lot. So now microtransactions has become very easy. And I think that has been the major shift from IA-based games to the IAP-based games in this South Asia market. So I feel that the shift has been, and the shift that we'll see in the future will be from the IAA games to the IAA plus IAP games, and major focus on the IAP games because of the higher CAC and low ECPM. These market needs those kind of game to grow and become a bigger brand and bigger studio.
Right. I mean, UBI has
That's
definitely
my
transformed the whole payment game in India and has now become so easy for people to sort of, make purchase online. So I'm sure like the behavior from your end also you've experienced, maybe the user behavior has changed dramatically. I don't know if there's any like observation you wanna share about the user behavior of like how UPI has transformed.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So earlier the percentage of people who actually used to attempt the payment transactions were very low, and the conversion from the attempt to pay was much lesser. It used to be like 0.5% to less than 1%. But now we are seeing the attempt increases from 5 to 10%. People who are actually trying to do a payment, and the conversion has increased from 3% to 4%. So that's the major change we are seeing in the mindset of the people because of these UPI transactions. I'll give you an example. So you'll not believe, in 2024, India have seen 11.7 billion UPI transactions. So you can imagine that the power of UPI has made payment very easy. And one of the game Ludo King, which is very popular from India. So we take it as a benchmark for the UPI transactions because they have revolutionized the payment in-app purchases, and which gives the motivation for us as well that yes, we can achieve that IAP in these zone. So Ludo King has crossed 10 crore lifetime IAP revenue by introducing a micro payment option of 10 rupees. So they have seen 10 crore people actually did the transaction because they've introduced a micro payment option. So I think the micro payment and UPI are the two things which can give a good boost to a game in India and the IAP transactions.
Definitely. And if anybody joining, maybe who's not from India and want to look into want to understand what UPI is basically unified payment interface, and literally any app can integrate it. It's such a easy API to integrate from what I know. I'm not a technical person. And then it has really changed the game. Thank you, Anshul, for sharing your point of view on that. The next question, I actually have it for Pankaj. So, as a business development manager at SocialPeta, you've seen how certain mobile games in India and Southeast Asia have evolved beyond standalone products into full-fledged ecosystem. Like these days, especially, we see a lot of games converting into a franchise and have different games from that IP. Based on your recent advertising and creative data, what common trait do these games share in terms of strategy, user retention, or monetization? And another question is, what can other developers learn from the success?
Sure, Daksha. Uh, First of all, I would really love to add this point here from game advertising intelligence standpoint that we have seen a huge shift from successful or top mobile games within India, Southeast Asia, as well as from the global perspective as well. That they are not just a gaming app anymore. So they are basically an ecosystem in itself. I mean, the biggest games, probably some of the board games. One of the name just Anshul suggested, some RMG games, some multiplayer shooter games. So they are not a child's play anymore. I mean, they have an ecosystem running around 24/7 operations. Their live ops teams are pretty heavy, and they have customized content for their audiences. So this is one of the key that we have seen. People are not using creatives just for the acquisition, but also to engage and build the community, to have retention and probably have the new users at the same time. So someone who is iterating their creatives very rapidly, probably using the right element for customized elements for respective audiences. Those are the games who are actually engaging with the right set of audiences. Uh, from different game category perspectives as well. Something that can really work for one category, maybe for the board game, may not work for the RMGs. So they have a different working style as well. They have campaigns around the local gaming events. Like for example, in India, like IPL is one of the biggest gaming event, and people have such emotions towards it. So there are big companies like the gaming apps who are having their own campaigns around the IPL. They are having the Indian jersey or probably the local jerseys within their game itself as a reward point for some of the users who spend certain time. So these kind of micro uh, or very customized engagements are actually helping them to build a community. So that is also giving them a feedback and a ground for both acquisition as well as for the engagement. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah, so you mentioned about like the strategy around IPL, where some game companies are using like jersey relate kind of like cricket jerseys, and also maybe sometimes using cricketers as like their KOLs. Would you say like these kind of strategies have much higher converts to a much higher user retention as well?
That is correct. Because see, it is not just about the acquisition. It is always about the retention. Because these players, they have a huge user base, and one of the key point is how to retain their users. If somebody is not coming back, like maybe after a short login or maybe after 7 days, I mean, the purpose for the acquisition is like no longer in use. So we need to have those recurring sessions, those live sessions, at least like 30 minutes, 45 minutes minimum to have that engagement. For that, they have some kind of strategy within the game, maybe in-app or some rewarded logins, maybe a daily login and a daily task within last 7 days. If they complete, they get some kind of points. So all that will help them engage with the users with a purpose wherein they can always come back, and the sense of achievement is also given to the users. So it is a win-win situation for the both the like apps and the users. And these gaming apps are not just the apps, because now uh, I can relate them as in a busy operational airport, maybe, because they are running a different kind of strategies within the game. At the same time, they are engaging with new users. They are targeting maybe the churn users. The in-app purchases are also a use case, and also they need to have a daily engagement to a level wherein they can actually drive the longevity. So all this is going simultaneously. So I think one of the ways to customize and know your audience, like the local audience, and have the all the possible elements added while within the gameplay as well as in the acquisition campaigns.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, the recent changes within the gaming ecosystem is what we're experiencing is that gaming is sort of like people are not taking games as just a favorite pastime, but it's becoming so much more, now even like there is a level of education that the parents are also going through and promoting their kids to sort of learn how to do games, how to develop games, and even also like build a career as like an influencer or gaming streamer. So I think these are some of the exciting things, but I assume like it becomes equally challenging because there's quite a lot of strong companies in the market, and the competition probably sort of is growing quite a lot. So my question to Anshul, just to kind of touch upon this, is especially like in India, the next wave could see gaming blending entertainment with intellectual engagement, appealing to like parents and educator. So what are some of the trends that you're currently seeing? Like what is some of your observation, let's say, in the Indian market or the Southeast Asian market?
Uh, so we call ourselves as an edutainment company because
Right.
what we are doing is we create videos and we create games, but all those are creating entertainment along with logic building. So
Right.
whatever we are creating are related to puzzle, riddles, which helps the our players, our viewers to build and develop their brain, and that's where we are trying to differentiate ourselves. So my take on this is like user time is very limited. Okay, so every one of us has only 24 hours in a day, and from that 24 hours, very few hours we give to a mobile phone for our entertainment purpose. And for that few hours, many people, many apps, many things are competing. Our competitors are not only games, but YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, everything is competing for those few hours. So we need to differentiate ourselves from those. Now, I'll give you a thing that now for acquiring a user on a game, we are running ads on YouTube, on Instagram. So actually, we are bringing the user who is in a mindset of doing a time pass on YouTube or watching videos or learning on YouTube and spending on time on Instagram to a game. So we should be able to give him a different sense of achievement, a different dopamine or a different pleasure because he's coming from one platform to our game. And where we differentiate ourselves being a puzzle game creator company is when user is watching 50 videos in an hour on an Instagram reel. He'll not be like, wow, I have achieved something. I have seen 50 videos. But when he comes to our game and he'll play the game and he'll solve a puzzle, he'll actually get a sense of achievement. Yes, I have achieved something. I have solved a puzzle. So that's the dopamine a differentiator what we are trying to create in a puzzle category in a puzzle game which differentiate us from these social media platforms and and that's why we are trying to create an entire ecosystem around it where a user watches a video, it will be something related to logic and puzzle. If it's playing a game, it's related to logic and puzzle because the sense of achievement is different where you don't get in the other social media platforms.
Absolutely. And I think what I find also interesting is what Trophy is also doing is like creating unique intersection between like gaming, commerce, and community. So a question to Vijay is that what strategies or features have you seen work particularly well in converting casual users into loyal high LTV participants, especially in the context of India and Southeast Asia? And also, is there a difference between these two markets from that point of view?
Yeah, so first of all, like it's really interesting to hear about the points from from yourself, from the Ansul, and from Pankaj, from a game developer perspective or from the gamers perspective, and it's this is real that everybody is fighting for the attention, and I would like to cover and I would like to add from a point from the brand's point of view. So these attention, because this is so rare and this is so this so precious, this is what exactly the brands also wanted, right? And if you see that the conventional way of and why I will cover that why the game commerce is making sense now. But if you see just if you just go back and see that how the games is is conventionally monetizing themselves is by using the ad formats that we believe is not basically designed for the games. These are being imported from the other broader app economy, right? And if you see in the today's scenario when every brand and everybody is like fighting for that the key attention, and obviously there's and we all are aware that the gaming as a platform is bringing and offering the highest attention and the viewability for everybody, right? So it's totally making sense that how we leverage that the opportunity and as a and how to grab the attention even if I'm spending as being a gamer, if I'm spending 5 minutes or the 30 minutes, how I'm adding how we can be able to add a value to this time, right? So if you ask me that, and then I will just give you a data that in today's, when we have almost like 8 billion people or 7 billion people in the world, out of that, like we have almost 3.4 billion or 3.5 billion gamers, as of today. Excuse me. But if you just if you see the 2030, if you try to see the 2030, the data, many of the data is suggesting that we will become from 8 billion to 9 billion. But the interesting part is that the gamers of 3.5 billion will become the 5 billion or the 6 billion. It means half of the people would be the gamers, right? In some or the other way. And as the new generation of the people are joining in, like the Gen Z is already here, right? We keep talking about it. The Zen Alpha will join us soon as well, right? How we can be able to leverage that? How we can be able to add more value, because their pattern, their behavior of consuming the content, interacting and engaging with the brands is very different what it used to be, right? And if you ask me that, then I believe that in essence, the developers are no longer just building games, right? They are building an interactive economies, and I'm seeing the gaming not just a mere, a source of entertainment, but I'm seeing it, the full-fledged platform, right? And many of the, you can see that, you will find on the internet as well, that in many of the, the conferences, in many of the, reports, gaming is being treated as a new social media, and it's fact. The way it is growing, the way it is adding the value to the brands and to everybody, it is making sense, right? And the ability to merge the storytelling, the utility and the commerce within the gaming do will define the long-term success as well in this, especially in this growing market like the India and the Southeast Asian market, right? So as I mentioned earlier, that historically, if we see that monetization revolved mostly around the ads and the in-app purchases, right? Often disconnecting the gamers from the play, the gameplay itself. Because if you accidentally, or if by intentionally click any of the the ad formats, that is the conventional ad format, you jump out of the game, right? This is where a disconnect is there, right? And the now it might worked in the past, but as we are moving ahead, I think what the gamers also realized, that the platform what we have, or the game what we have, is not just a source of earning revenue, a quick revenue, but it's a platform to keep our gamers into a loyal, maybe you can say a consumer, or maybe a loyal, and the partner who can leverage and explore the other parts of the games as well. That's the reason that if the in-app purchases, or maybe the connected commerce what we have introduced to the trophy is making sense, right? This is why the brands are also trying to explore this space, because now they are seeing that the gamers are connected and loyal to a particular platform, right? So to coming to the point, I think the today's the developers are also realizing that the shoppable moments that is contextually embedded into the gameplay can boost engagements, session time, and the retention, and all that too without sacrificing the immersion, right? So it's no longer just about monetizing the attention. It's also enriching the game world with the real world relevance and the value. This is what I'm trying to relate to. And the shift in the crucial the shift is very crucial in the market like the India and Southeast Asia specifically, where the player base are both massive and the mobile first, right? And even in India, if you see that almost 90% of the games are the mobile heavy, or maybe the mobile first, and the same is the case with the Southeast Asia as well, right? Uh, these markets are very price sensitive as well, and then you cannot just add the the conventional way of the ads that's make your gamers fatigue, right? So you need to take care of that as well, because what I'm trying to say is that when you are strategizing the monetization, when you're strategizing the the long-term strategy, you should keep each and every point connected. That what your gamers is feeling when they are here and when they are playing any kind of the games, how we can monetize without disrupting their gameplay. So this, I think this makes sense to, to the gamers, to the game developers, and obviously the brand for the brands who can leverage these attention metrics. So I think one of the most transformative shifts we are seeing in the mobile gaming landscape, especially in India and Southeast Asia, is the integration of the immersive commerce, what we have introduced through the trophy. And we are very happy that we are the forefront of this evolution with this proposition and helping the developers to unlock the the revenue streams while enhancing the players' experiences as well. So I think this is what our take on this.
Yeah, and interesting. I mean, like you rightly said, the market is big, but so is the challenges. And the
Yep.
attention span is honestly something that's kind of constantly dropping. And we are like, I think a lot of the game developers, like the competition is with the attention span rather than the companies itself. So it's very interesting times. I wanted to also give a little shout out to our audience for tuning in. And I wanted to also let them know that if you guys have any question, please feel free to leave them in the Q&A, and the panelists will be happy to answer them. So in the meantime, moving on to Pankaj, I wanted to understand from your experience working with so many devs, like in terms of cultural nuances, if you think about it, how important or how important considering the culture is when it comes to like promoting your game. If I have to rephrase it, I would say perhaps are there any noticeable behavior differences between India and Southeast Asia when it comes to community engagement and monetization? And the reason I ask is because now a lot of gaming companies in India or worldwide, when they want to sort of promote their game in Asia, they kind of combine India and other Southeast Asian market as one entity. So that's why I wanted to understand, like, what's your opinion on that? And Anshul, if you would like to share your points as well after Pankaj, I would love to hear them as well.
Uh, sure, Daksha. So there are some purpose-driven games, like very big games, working really well worldwide, and they have uh, almost common gameplay for each region. Yet they have different campaigns for the region. Maybe yes, it is correct that India is also considered sometimes part of the Southeast Asia, and we probably may have the similar kind of content or the elements. But these regional themes are not limited to all the events. So there are some major and some minor events for each region. Uh, for example, like we have a section in our platform as well that actually highlight you to add the element for any specific campaign which is targeted to a minor audience for probably for one region. Even in India itself, we have multiple regions. I mean, few events in South India may not have that big relevance in the northern part, or maybe like East India have different culture, people have different choices. And these elements, especially around the user acquisitions, they are not unscientifically. I mean, I guess they are scientifically, and also uh, it includes a lot of choices of the people. You go to any big brand, they have one product, but maybe they can have choices in different colors. So the product is the same, but it is just a difference of the color. So maybe I would like to own a car that's red, may not appeal to like a larger audience. So if the same company has to target me or people like minded, I mean, they probably need to have that kind of options available so that, I mean, they don't give up on a bigger audience. So choices are similar for all the app developers. They have the same audiences, and they just have to see that how much share they can actually get from the all users. So these event driven campaigns probably done by some major board games, some card games, maybe some shooter games like BGMI. They have campaigns all around the world. They have e-sport events localized in all the countries, especially in Southeast Asia. So they all are purpose driven campaigns. They do connect with the local community. So and people actually, the users actually do aspire those users. They also see those user generated styles, creatives. That can actually affect their own emotions, and they help them build a long term community. So I mean, probably not to mention, but again, like there are two famous football teams, or maybe two similar top games. They have fan following, and they have a rivalry. So why that is happening? I mean, there is nothing to do with the real world. But yes, they have choices, and they made two different choices because uh, both the apps or both the top games have actually won the audiences, which aligns with their purpose, and they have given them the choices to have their own game. So I think so. This is pretty tricky. I mean, there is no such definition for the to adding the elements. People have to keep on trying, and they have to retry what really have worked for them in the past, or maybe if they can see any third party data to see what has really worked in any specific region, maybe they can also adapt and have their own inspirations around it, because something that is really accepted recently may also work for them. So all this actually work in this way.
Yeah, there's so much like trial and testing and quick decision making that's kind of needed. Thank you so much for sharing your point of view. Anshul, would you like to add something to this topic?
Yeah. So Pankaj described very beautifully that how events or cultural driven things actually impact different countries. So I'll give you our example, what we did. Uh, 2 months back, there was a Ramadan time that was going on. So we experimented this event-based thing in Turkey, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India. And we actually saw 30% drop in the CPI in those countries. We actually saw, so we changed our creatives, our UGCs, and our video theme, our game theme according to the Ramadan theme, and we actually saw people interacting more with the game because it was that period. People are in that mindset psychologically. They are in that frame, so it's very easy and very better to use those themes. And for India, we see some challenges here because India's when we try something in the south that doesn't work in the north. If we try something in the north that doesn't work in the south. So India is a challenging market when it comes to cultural things.
Yeah.
But we are experimenting with different states and different cultures in India as well. But we saw positive result in those three countries, but not we don't have the good stats for the Indian market yet.
True. India, I feel like that's just my personal point of view, is like a few different countries mixed together. The north is so different than south, the south is so different from east. So yeah, it's kind of very
Yeah.
interesting. And I feel like a lot of times you need a local person to really sort of educate those companies, if the company is not from India, to really understand like what it means to have like all these different languages, and which one is important to, like, which one has more user base and stuff like that. Cool. We actually have a question from the audience. And please feel free to jump in, whoever wants to go first. So Venshin is asking, I want to know how community features like guilds and regional events enhances cultural connection without fragmenting player base. Vijay, would you like to go first?
I think the Anshul would be the best one because he can add value from the game developer's point of view. And this questions would be on, and maybe you, because you can be able to relate those data points from the gamer's point of view.
I think we discussed almost on the similar lines, the events and all, cultural events. That in India it's tricky to select because the audience is the audience is very mixed. But for in South, if we talk about the entire South Asia, it's easy to target market like Pakistan, Nepal, or Sri Lanka. You can guess the broader audience and you can target the events. But in India, it's very difficult to target a specific event. You can target an event like an IPL. So it's a very generic event which all of the India will follow. But targeting a specific festival and all, it's a tricky affair. So I'll give you an example. I was talking to one of the studio based out of US. So they were experimenting their games in India, and they were like, if we do the Play Store listing in Hindi, we'll able to target the entire India. So we told them that if you target the Indian players by just converting your store play listing to Hindi, you will just be targeting the north of India. You'll be missing on the entire east, west, and south of India. So it's not easy to target India with a specific simple change. You have to, as Daksha also perfectly said, that you need to have a local person to understand how to target the event, how to organize events correctly to target the entire Indian population and Indian market.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I would like to add here, Daksha, is that different events and sentiments also, empowers and and drive different kind of engagement, right? You cannot text because if we just talk, I think we are just considering India as a market. We have so many festival in the events, right? Now
Yeah.
IPL is itself is an festival kind of thing, right? Now, earlier, pre-IPL or the big events, such events, like we are mostly limited to the bigger festivals like Diwali or maybe the Eid or maybe the New Year, Durga Puja and so on, right? Or Holi and so on. Now we are also like smartly and I think this is somewhere initiating at a brand side as well, from the monetization, considering the monetization aspect, that they are creating these the smart events that is basically driving the higher engagement, not only in the games but all the related digital channels. So I think a smart participation and a careful picking up the event will also add a lot of value, and I'm sure the same case is with the other market as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we could have like a little cheat sheet where we can list out best things like which festival to participate in and how to localize. But unfortunately, it's much more complicated and complex than that.
True.
Yeah, so we can't really create like a
Yeah,
little.
I think trust and the trial is the only thing that what we can do, like considering the historical data and then keep trying it, right? One, I think the one shape doesn't fit all. I think what works for the puzzle game may not work well for the racing game or so on, right? So I think that some players, some complicated verticals is being is being tracked beautifully by one partner, but others of the feeling it facing is very hard to crack it. So I think we need to keep ourselves open and keep trying it. This is how we can be able to make it.
Absolutely.
Just
Yes,
one point from my side, Daksha. So,
please.
been observed and would like to mention that like one of the like biggest player from Finland. I mean, they have a very big game and they use it. They craft it very nicely that actually touch almost all the audiences. They use it during Christmas or New Year, probably using within the gameplay, having players wearing the winter clothes and some snowboards and all. So I mean that touches upon almost most of the countries within the world. So people do feel connected without actually emphasizing to any specific area or any specific audiences or the country, but maybe that is for everyone. So I mean, these kind of things you can get hint from probably major players when you see like if they are doing any changes in their gameplay or the map going on.
Good point. Good point.
Absolutely. And I guess like maybe we all know which company you're talking about. They are really good at
Yeah.
what they do, really.
I'm a fanboy to many games, to Anshu's game as well. I mean, I do play it all the time, so I have real users feedback for most of the games.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, like, actually, I wanted to ask you guys before as well. Like, do you guys play games? What kind of games do you enjoy playing mostly?
From my perspective, I do try based on feedbacks as well. Like I meet people, they showcase me their game. Probably they have just launched, they're planning. So I do try them. My personal like at this moment, like I'm playing Anshul's game. That is a very nice game. I mean, this will give you a very amazing moments. I mean, sense of achievement with the every round that you actually you clear. Uh, I used to play a lot. I mean, BGMI, but my available time to play it is not as much as used to be. But I try to log in every now and then. COC I played for a long time, but not anymore. So these are a couple of games that I used to interact on and off.
At
Yeah.
my side, I think not getting much time to play, I have, but I have to because I'm playing on my partner's games a lot, including the Ansul's one. And I shared with Ansul this last month. I was traveling to a very small town, and I was passing by and I'm seeing that a mother and the kid was playing a very familiar game. And when I looked around, it was Ansul's game, right? So I shared immediately with him that this is how the engagement and then the penetration is into. But my personal favorite is racing and the action one. I used to play a lot. My favorite one is the COD and then many others. So this is at my side. I think now my daughter is playing game. Not sees a little one, but we are introducing the smaller game that is not, you know, that is not much for her. But yes, being into the gaming, I think I love in playing the game as soon as like I'm getting time while traveling and so on. So yes.
Thank you for the amazing feedbacks for the Detective IQ 2 game. So that has been our motto. So we have now, as I said, close to 15 million followers on YouTube. We have almost now 15 million downloads on our game. So, and majorly the downloads are from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So majorly we have covered a lot of people. A lot of people have started playing the game. So uh, me personally, I play a lot of games. So it's like 2 to 3 hours in a day, I'll be playing the games. And majorly it's in the puzzle, hyper casual, hybrid casual category. And I have been playing games almost from like when the Android was first launched, 2009, 2010. I was in college. So from that time, I have been regularly playing games. So it's like 1,000 plus games I have already completed and played. But everything related to hybrid casual, hyper casual, I love this category. And that is the main reason we are now as a company in that category, because I have been a crazy fan lover of these category of games, understanding the mechanics, going deep dive into the games, what exactly those studios are trying to tell in the game, how they are influencing the people to play the game. And that has driven me to create MindYourLogic as a brand to create similar games.
That's
If,
really, really fascinating to hear that you've played over 1,000 games.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
amazing to hear that.
If you see my mobile currently, I will have at least 200 to 300 games.
Wow. That's really, really fantastic to hear that. We do have a couple of questions from the audience, and I think we've touched upon those a little bit, but at the same time, I would like to also, maybe go a little bit deeper in those topics from just to answer audience question. So one of the question we have is that from your perspective, what defines a high performing ad creative in today's competitive mobile landscape? If Pankaj, would you like to go first, from your understanding?
Sure. I mean, it is based on the CTA that you had, and from our perspective, like the way we cover our data, we see high performing ads with the more impressions. I mean, impression is something that comes first, and we capture it as one of the main and the key performance element. So anything that has more impressions, that means the chances to get download or to see or go to store, check your game are higher. So that is something from our understanding. Uh, so what else? Maybe anything which has really worked well within a week. I mean, any creative which has really worked well in a week, maybe you can try into different networks as well, because the chances are something that really worked good in Meta may have the similar or the better results in the ad mob as well. So I think a better impression is one of the key point that we consider at Social Beta.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you rightly said, looking at the metrics of like what's kind of performing and then tweaking that budget and also looking at like what different platforms you can target, definitely helpful. From the creator side, I've also noticed that a lot of like live action videos are performing much better. I don't know what your experiences have been. Yeah, if you would like to elaborate a little bit more, I'm sure like you play so many games, and I think it would be fascinating to hear like what makes you convert as well.
So I think Vijay mentioned before also that UGC creatives works amazingly well, because when you are trying to convert a user, it's the weather is getting bad here, so you will hear some thunderstorms in between. Yeah. So so UGC ads works a lot better, because if you are trying to convert a user from a YouTube or an Instagram from to your game, and when the user see a UGC ad, he can actually connect better with your game, because he can see the player playing, his expression, how he's trying to play the game, how he's trying to play a level. So the convert is very much higher when it's a UGC, because plain video ads are like because of AI, now the game creation process has become very easy. So hundreds and thousands of games are coming which are very similar. So if you want to stand out from those, you need to have a better creatives. And personally, I have seen a lot that UGC, and for us also, UGC works a lot better, because you are actually connecting to a user who is playing the game, and the conversion becomes automatically higher. And especially if the UGC ads have created by some influencer, so the chances of conversion automatically become much more higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Vijay, would you like to add any of your opinions, or even just like if you see an ad, what makes you click download?
So I think this is interesting one, and I see it in a little different way. So depending on your budget to spend and so on, broadly the creatives comes at the two places. One at a user acquisition level, where you are acquiring a new user to your game, and another creatives comes when you already have the gamer's user base and how you are monetizing it. So both required creatives, right? And as I mentioned, I covered it earlier that conventionally what worked in the past should not like doesn't need not to be working at present, because the a new generation is joining in, and the digital as a platform and the gaming as an gaming itself as an the platform is evolving so fast. So you need to keep trying and keep checking that what's working for you, what's working for your competitor, and so on. So covering the first part for the UA, as what Anshul mentioned and I covered as well, the UGC worked well because it's giving some kind of an experience, and then then getting into the games is much higher because the market is so chaotic. So you need to make your the presence. You need to make your presence feel to your the user. And another part works well that when you have a certain user base and you keep doing the user acquisition and adding the the new batches of the user acquisition, uh, new batches of the users on your game, existing games, then how you can be able to monetize it without making the the user churn, or without making your gamers disrupting their gameplay. I think this is where we worked a lot. We did our homework, and this is where the game commerce is making sense, because what we have introduced and what we have realized is that conventionally a layer of consent is being missing, right? You name any of the conventional ad formats, they are just pushing the ads on your face or the gamer's face, and then not taking the consent, number one. And as I mentioned earlier, even if you clicked it accidentally or maybe intentionally, you jump out of the game. Right. And as being a game developer, as being a brand also, you don't want it, right? Because you don't want a disconnect. So this is where the creatives works, extreme play an important role. And this is where we have going beyond the conventional ad formats, and we are going for the product placement, the brand product placement within a game. And then this works out very well for the brands, what we are working with. And that's why the kind of the engagement and the CTR what we are experiencing is way higher compared to any digital channel, where the CTR, just to give you an example, the CTR and the engagement percentage, the view to engagement, that is ranging somewhere from 0.5 to 3%, depending on the market. We are delivering somewhere around 8% to 15% to the brands. I mean, we are seeing, exceptionally good, the conversions, because we are giving the consent to the gamers, right? And if we all four or five are playing the same games, I think the ads, we all have our taste, or maybe we all have our defined time for the game. If I'm interested, then I would be going for that particular, the integrated or embedded brand. I need not to be, watching the entire video and expressing my interest for that. So I think this the creatives, the kind of the creatives plays an important role, both at the UA and both at the monetization level. This is my take on this.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
I'll just add on here. So we are using we are one of the we are working with Trophy as a partner, and we are very happy about it. So gaming is a very interesting market. So what happened in the gaming market is, if you are playing a game, there will be another ad of a different game coming onto your game. So user is playing a game, and every 3 or 4 levels he'll be seeing an ad of another game, maybe
Yeah,
similar
true.
game, maybe a different game. So the churn is very higher when you are totally dependent on an ad based game. The churn is very higher because user will someday or add 3 or 4 find a better game and he'll move out. So it's very interesting that everyone is fighting in a same game with different kind of ads. Where Trophy is helping us is, it's not actually user are not churning out. They are actually seeing an e-commerce ad where user will have a different emotion towards that instead of having the same emotion of seeing an ad of a game. So that's where I think Trophy is doing amazingly well.
that's
Thank
really,
you,
really
Anshul.
good to hear, honestly. And, just to make things a bit more interesting, the next question is something I was thinking that, it's been 1 hour and we haven't really talked about AI. So I think the next question is around AI. So Melody has asked, with the rise of AI and immersive tech, how do you envision game ecosystem evolving in the next 3, 5 years? It's a very interesting conversation, I would say. Like at this time, everyone's talking about AI, and AI is definitely word of the year, I would say. Yeah, so please do let me know, like, let us know what your point of views are in terms of like how the ecosystem will be evolving in the upcoming years.
So,
Can I go first? Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
so please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yep.
Okay. So, what we are seeing as a studio is because of AI, the game development process has become very easy. Now, if you see a game getting popular, the next day you will see hundreds of similar games on the Play Store. Everyone started creating the same game. Because of AI, the game development process has become very, very easy. Now, the challenge in the next 3 to 5 years will be game distribution. The studio winning the race would be the studio who have an amazing game distribution team and game distribution setup, who understand UA creatives. That's where I think SocialPeta can be very helpful, because understanding how your competitors are creating the UA creatives and how you can compete with them, that's where the future will lie. Development will be a small part. I think not more than 5 to 10% of the entire gaming ecosystem. The development will be the part. The entire fight will be around how you will reach the right user, which you want to target, and how you will make it to install the game. That's where the entire fight will be in the next 3 to 5 years. What we feel as a studio. Yeah,
That
Vijay.
definitely makes sense. I mean, especially now, there's amazing softwares, AI software producing so many good contents. You rightly mentioned, and something that I actually haven't really thought about, that distribution will be like the next big challenge to sort of tap into. Oh, Vijay, you were saying about it.
Yeah, so the AI as being, is a broader topic, and considering ourselves as from the marketing side and as being a game commerce company, we have picked the piece of the AI that works well for that should work well for our partner at the brand side and also at the game developer side. So what we have seen the potential, and we very soon we are also introducing the predictive AI feature. And basically, we are introducing it. This feature is to unlock the brand matchmaking, the monetization path, and the user retention strategy. So what happened is in our case, as at present, is that we are suggesting the best places, and obviously with the help of the game developers, we are choosing the certain the placeholders within a game where the brand, actually the placement would work. But with the help of the predictive AI, what we are developing and will introduce soon is that each placeholder will share the data that which is working well, what where the and how the game developers would redefine the placeholder in the next release and so on. So I think this is making sense for us, and we are going in a full fledged with this. And yes, I think we cannot stay away from the AI, right? The certain pieces of AI will definitely help you as being a game developer, or maybe as a marketing company, or maybe as a technology company. So predictive AI in our case is making sense to us. Yes.
Definitely exciting time. Something I want to quickly tell our audience as well, that if because the time is running out a little bit, we've been talking, and honestly, like, it's been such an interesting conversation so far, and we've been getting quite a lot of questions from the audience as well. We might not be able to answer all of them. So please do reach out to all our panelists on LinkedIn. If panelists, you could drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat so that people can actually like then go ahead and connect with you. Yeah, so time is really running out, so I'm just trying to be mindful. If we can maybe I'll take one more question from the audience and a wrap up question, and then I think we'll call it a day. So the next question from the audience is by Avi. Avi wants to know from Anshul and Pankaj, how important is playable ads in your UA strategy? And what are the top 3 problems that UA team face with playables? It's a very interesting question. And just to share a little bit about my point of view, in my experience, a lot of times what I have encountered is that users don't understand that it's playable when they see the ad. Uh, that's something, one of the challenge that I have personally faced. But yeah, over to you, Anshul, and then Pankaj, if you want to share some of your point of view, if you have used playable ads.
Yeah. So as you said, that's the first challenge also we faced when we started using playables. So what we did as an experiment there, so we don't use playables directly. We use videos plus playables creatives whenever we use it. Because what we do as a strategy is with the video, we give us the brief about the game. And before moving to playables, we'll tell the user that now you have to solve this. Now you have to start solving this puzzle. You have to do this. And when the playable comes in, there will be a finger tap or finger moving, giving a user a brief that now you have to start and how you have to start. So when we started doing this, we actually saw a very good conversion with the playables. A very interesting stat here is when we were experimenting only with the videos, we saw that the overall game retention were lesser. But when we move to videos plus playables, we see a very good retention in our overall game because what we understood as a studio is when user actually use the playable and convert, he has experienced the game before downloading it, so he knows what he is downloading. But when he sees the video, it's just a guess that what can be the game is. But playables actually help user to understand the game content and what he'll be experiencing in the game. So the overall retention is very much better, and the LTV are better for the playable users who are coming from the playables. That has been our experience with the videos plus playables. And obviously, the struggles with the playable is one, as Daksha said, and one more problem we face is creating the playables. So you have tools now, but most of the tools are not free. So experiment the playables also is a tricky affair. So you need good coding skills also, because the drag and drop playables tools that are available are paid. So if you want to experiment and build your playables, you need to have some coding skills related to HTML5 and all. Yeah. Pankaj, you can add.
Sure. Thank you, Anshul, for this point. So the purpose for the playable ads, you have explained really well. And a person has to understand anything that is interactive, that is more engaging anyways. Uh, One thing that has to be ensured while using the playable, that it has very clear CTA, that you would like to have it. Also, please don't exaggerate the creative. Show what your games really has. So maybe you are giving a wrong impression or a wrong message to a guy who is actually enjoying the game. But when we download, he don't find it, I mean, he will uninstall immediately after. So try to have what your game has, the real gameplay. uh, Stop it at the very interesting moment when you feel, when you realize that the person has actually reached to that level wherein he can now download the game from the store. So that is something that really works well. And again, uh, it's an introduction to your game. So maybe I can relate it to some of the marketplaces. You see a beautiful shirt, like there's a model who is wearing a beautiful shirt, but maybe that doesn't suits on you. So that is something, I mean, you're gonna try before you buy or you download. So you don't have to have spend all that data or maybe that space from your phone. Just have a gist of it. You like it, you go ahead with it. So you can have more approvals from here, and chances are you can retain those users who have actually enjoyed the game from this kind of creatives.
Exactly.
Um, there's one more follow-up question from Avi on that. I'm just trying to be mindful if you have enough time. So if you just want to like quickly share your thoughts on this follow-up question that he has, which is any challenges you can share on testing the playable creatives on ad networks like high testing cost and time?
In terms of cost, so what we have observed is compared to video ads, the playable ads have higher CPI, 10 to 20% higher CPI, but the LTV is much higher than the video ad players because as I said before, when player comes from a video ads, he just guess how the game would be, how the mechanics of the game would be. But when he is coming from the playable, the conversion may be on the lower side. You will get lower conversions. The conversion rate will be on the lower side from Play Store to download, but the quality of user will be very high, very high. So the LTV is very strong when user are converting from the playable. So if you are seeing 10 to 20% of a rise in your CPIs compared to video ad, that's fine because that would be recovered in your LTV.
Right. I guess like it also comes down to, at what stage in your like game development or game publishing that you are at and what your goals and priorities are. If initially you want to just do a lot of if you want to gain a lot of new downloads and test that how the retention is, if you're in an early stage, maybe then stay away from playable a little bit. That's just my naive opinion. But yeah, but if you're like maybe if your game is already 1 year old and is doing pretty good and you are looking for metrics like retention and more engagement, then I suppose playable would be a good strategy. Just to summarize your guys' point of views. Cool. So let's actually wrap up with one final question. And that is something also we kind of touched upon. So if you could like just bring everything to a summary. So looking ahead, what's one key trend and strategy you believe will define the next wave of gaming ecosystem across India and Southeast Asia? And what should developers or marketers prioritize to stay ahead of the curve?
So, as we discussed a lot of time before in this session, that the trend is moving from IA to IAP. So basically, hyper casual category to hybrid casual category, which means instead of just focusing on ad-based games, we need to have an ad plus an in-app purchase revenue game. Then only you can succeed in this competitive market because distribution will be a challenge. So CAC the CPI will increase. So you need to have an IAP and a longer game. And that's where the hybrid casual game will have a better prospect in the future because it's similar to a hyper casual game, but with more depth. So the chances of generating an LTV from the user is much higher compared to a hyper casual game. That's I feel should be the main focus for any developer who are in the current market. And you'll see this trend in the tier 1, tier 2 countries as well, and eventually you will see in our region as well.
Vijay, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, just wanted to add a couple of lines that first is that I believe that the next wave of growth in gaming across India and Southeast Asia will be redefined by the convergence of certain things that will include, the intelligent engagement strategy. We discussed the use of artificial intelligence. One very important point is that, and this is as a suggestion also, just to start treating your games or as an overall gaming as a full-fledged platform and not just a standalone, the entertainment tool. Use a different ways to monetize your game in order to sustainably, just to sustain your journey and so on. And my suggestion is specifically for the developers is to number one is to monetize through immersion and not the interruption. So number two is that design for the participation and not just for the consumption. So this is I think is very important. And the third one is that, as I mentioned, the build for the brands also, or build with the brands as well, not just for the players. So I think now this is the point, and this is my personal opinion. is that with the help of the Unity or the Unreal, the tools is being evolved so much that creating a games is very easy, comparatively easier. But in order to scale it further, in order to seeing a long term, I think you need to have a better monetization strategy as well. And this is where we came into the picture. So this is my key suggestions to the developers and seeing the trend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this point of view. Pankaj, would you like to add to the discussion, please?
Sure. Just the last point. Since we had a question on AI as well. So as of now, like AI has a lot of feeds, and it has become or it has reached to a point wherein not it can actually give you some successful case studies. Maybe leveraging those technologies and those case studies and implement in your live ops, maybe with the help of ad intelligence or some ASO tools that can actually help you uh, a decision making backed data that can drive your app to the next level. Yeah.
Yep, good point.
Just realized I was on mute. I wanted to say like thank you so much everyone. We're kind of running out of time now, so I just want to take a minute to thank all the speakers for your thoughtful insights and great conversation. Honestly, there's quite a lot of things that you shared today with your personal experience and also being in the market that you understand, and it was really super insightful and helpful. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank our audience for joining today. And thank you so much, audience, for asking those amazing questions and making our panelists think a bit more deeper. Cool.
Thank
So
you, thank you to you, Daksha, as well for driving this the overall interesting conversation.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
always happy to.
yep, and
Well,
thank you, Anshul.
we
Thank you, Pankaj, for joining in. And I learned a lot from you guys as well today.
Yeah, same here.
likewise.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Well, if you would like to the audience, if you would like to stay in touch, like I mentioned earlier, or continue the discussion, or if you have any follow-up question, please feel free to reach out to our speakers or follow any of the pages, and I'm sure like you'll be connected to them, and then you'll get your answer. All right. Until next time, stay inspired and keep building the gaming future of the gaming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.